This is Chibage, and it's not the same Chibage chayiona na gogo na sekurubelu. It looks the same, smell the same, but it's not the same, and this difference matters more than you think. Let me explain. Until kuna Chibage ichi. Do you know what Chibage ichi came from? This tiny thing kanonzika Teosinte kasora. So kano akaka ndikakagadzira chino ichi. Just to think about it for a moment. How did that happen? For me to really understand this food industry, I had to reach out to a lot of people who work in the food industry, a lot of experts who work at some of the biggest companies, and also
in the last decade, the evidence.
This is probably one of the most important videos I've ever done, and if you live in the diaspora or you live in Zimbabwe, this is definitely something you should watch, because health is life. Kana usina utano, hauna upenyu. Especially kana uri in Zimbabwe, you already know our public hospitals, and also kana uri abroad. Yeah, you also really need to watch this, because a lot of what I'm saying is actually happening in the diaspora. So what happened to food? Why are we now eating fake food? Is it fake food?
That's an interesting topic, my brother. And to say fake, it's not just fake, but it's removed from its natural state. Our forefathers ate food as it came. Whole grains, pounded, soaked, and fermented. Vegetables, vairima, they came straight from the soil. Most of the meat they had was once in a while. Today we have ultra-processed foods. Today we eat food designed for speed. Speed to cook, speed to sell, and speed to profit. So we have the same food, right? The same food names, but the food is different. Sadza back then is not the same sadza we have now. We have super refined mealie meal with fiber that is removed. It's different. So I think the problem is really not tradition, my brother. The problem we have is processing, convenience.
So chikafu chatiri kudya has been genetically modified through selective breeding. But the most important issue here, it's not the food itself, it's the processing ya chikafu. So the problem today is tikudya chikafu chakawanda chiri kubva on these commercial farms. These commercial farms, they are farming chikafu on an industrial scale. They are trying to feed millions and millions of people, which is a beautiful thing, auntie. But the problem is, for them to feed millions of people, they're going to use synthetic fertilizers, vachashandisa mishonga, pesticides, mishonga kura, pest, and all of this stuff. Of course, vanozotaura kuti zvoni chikafu ichi pesticides avanoshandisa ukanganise utano hwevanhu, but some researchers suggest otherwise. But you see the point yekuti tikudya chikafu charimwa with the intention of profit. Chikafu ichi chagadzirwa chichakwanisa kufeedha vanhu vakawanda, but there's now a problem yekuti one chikafu ichi chashandisirwa mushonga wakawanda, chashandisirwa synthetic fertilizers, chashandisirwa chemicals kuti chisadyiwe nemapest, chisaite madiseases, and also kuti chikafu ichi chinogona kuiswa futi injections or chinogona kuspray or a lot of stuff zvavanogona kuita kuti chive ne long shelf life hantowaona, and all of those things zvinonota sekunge zvinhu zviri sina basa, but it does matter kana zvazopinda mubody mako. Chikafu chatiri kudya iko zvinozvi chikafu chiri kugadzirwa on an industrial scale, whereas kuti sanagogo nanasekuru vedu they never had that kind of food. Most of the foods avaidya changa chiri chikafu chavairima vega straight from the soil or pamhuka, then they will just consume that. Kana vachida mukaka vane mombe, kana vachida vegetables vane magarden or vane minda. That was how things used to be. But now kana wakugara perhaps in the diaspora or unogara mtown, you no longer have that connection. You now you have to buy food from supermarkets and all of these things. Now a challenge, man. This is where I'm trying to get to. So what am I saying? I'm saying we don't need large scale farmers. We need to produce chikafu chakawanda so we can feed millions and millions of people. That also means we need to process this food. Because chikasika we might make a loss. There's a lot that goes into that. But at the same time, when we are also processing this food, we are taking away my essential nutrients and which is going to affect them later. So the problem now is we are eating a lot of unhealthy food. Some cardiovascular diseases, some heart issues, BP, fertility issues. We are starting to see a lot of these huge diseases that are before.
So when it comes to blood pressure and diabetes, my brother, blood pressure didn't just appear. It was built over time. And we now eat more salt in bread, salt in sauces, salt in packaged foods. So even if the food is not tasting salty, the salt is in there, right? Sugar is hidden everywhere. Every food pack you read has got sugar on it. So our food, nasi, it's more processed. Processed foods, they are harder on our bodies. Our bodies find it so difficult to deal with processed foods. These foods are low in fiber. Most of the fiber is removed, so the body digests it very, very quickly. That's why you're not one Zara very quickly. Sugary drinks, soft drinks, sweetened juices, right? They spike our sugars and blood pressure way quick. Too quick. So too much white bread and pastries. They're very filling, but they're not very nutritious. They don't nourish you as they should. We also use oils that are really not stable. When oil is overheated or reused, it can affect your heart and your blood vessels. They damage the heart over time. It's not an overnight thing, it's over time. So you need to understand what you eat today will affect you tomorrow. That's just how I think it is.
And apa vanhu papa nenyaya manje apa, because you need to understand that food is a multi-dollar industry. There's a lot of money in food. And these companies, they value money above everything else. Vanema scientists, vanema researchers, vanema marketing, they have all sorts of people, and they're going to use these people but this in chikafu chinonaka, even packaging inotogadzirwa from a scientific standpoint yakuti chikafu chive more physically appealing, smell inogadzirwa kuti chive enticing kuti ude kuchitenga. Everything design yechikafu chese chaunotenga muchopecha chakatodesignwa meticulously kuti chive appealing kuti unzoda kuchitenga. And after wachitenga, they also try by all means kuti chinake in such a way kuti unzoda kuramba uchichitenga. That is why uchinoti ukatenga ma snakes, you might end up watching a snake pack race, because that is their goal. They want you to keep buying from them so that they will make profit. So these companies, they have heavily invested in the best scientists, in the best marketers, in the best psychologists to understand human behavior, what moves us, even taste every single thing about food. They understand it, and they use all of this knowledge.
My name's John Ruff, and I've spent 40 years in the food industry across 7 different countries. Companies spend a lot of time optimizing all aspects of their product: the flavor, the taste, the texture. People want their product to be as good, if not better, than the competitor, so it will sell more.
So everything about these companies is really optimized for profit. You are the customer, so they want to get you addicted to actually ultra processed, such that you keep coming back for more. So these guys are they want you to constantly eat, because that's how they make money. That is why you are seeing in developed countries going to issue obesity a lot, because they are making sure and they are making a lot of money. But this food, it's not really healthy for you.
Ultra processed food is harmful for us in ways we hadn't thought. We already have the most obese children in Europe. That means more type 2 diabetes, more cancers, more heart disease, more misery, more mental illness. This really is a future time bomb.
So it's not a secret kuti tautanga kuona things we never used to see before. Tautanga kuona kuti vana vedu vakukasika kukura, tautanga kuona kuti tautanga kurwara in ways we never did before. Tinonzwa mwana muna ne 30 years akutonza ane BP, we are no longer the same kind of people we used to be. So chef, so what small things can you tell us so titi kono kurarama upenyu uri a bit healthier, tichiko chikafu a bit healthier?
Okay, so people think healthy eating is expensive, but that's not true. The idea that came with social media and imported food trends. The problem is not money. The problem is forgetting what works for us. So if you don't have the means, we go back to the basics. You need to eat real foods. Sadza, beans, vegetables, eggs, ground nuts, food that fuels you and nourishes you. So one big solution that we can have is cooking at home. At home, you can control the oil. You can control the salt. You control the portion. You can cook once and eat twice, or you can meal prep for the whole week. That alone saves you money, and it keeps your body in the right shape. You control that. So in my career, I really learned that food doesn't have to be very complicated to be healthy. It has to be simple. The biggest difference comes from the smallest choices that we make. How we cook, how we often eat vegetables, and how much we rely on convenience foods. Convenience foods can be dangerous. I've also seen that when people go back to simple, well-prepared meals, food that is cooked with intention, they feel better and they have more energy, and their health issues reduce. And this is everywhere, guys. Read about it. And Amaraga, drink water. Not juice, not fizzy drinks, but water. That's the cheapest health decision you'll ever have to make. So for me as a chef, healthy eating without money is about wisdom. That's all I can say. Well, it's about remembering who we are and where we come from, right? And how we used to eat. So before the trends told us, no, this one, we should follow this, we should do this, you should do this, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, you don't need a lot. You just need good sense.
And in many countries, especially developed countries, they've actually made it cheaper to take chikafu chili ultra processed than chikafu chili truly organic and to our chili truly good. So it's a double-edged sword either way. But it's important to get the chikafu on a commercial scale. But if you can afford it, try not to buy more processed food. Try to eat more healthy. If you chikafu just processed, buy chikafu raw, it's actually more healthier for you that way than tenga chikafu chili processed, my snacks, my fast foods. You try to avoid those kind of food. because healthy means everything. Kana usina utano kanaka, you are in a really bad position. It's also quite unfortunate that we live in a society where we don't understand the importance of food, because that food affects our well-being, our mental state, depression, a lot of things boils down to the kind of food we consume. So value your health to the best of your ability. Try to sleep more, try to rest more, eat chakanaka, try not to buy junk food if you can. And I know in the diaspora it's extremely hard not to, because chikafu chili processed chili more cheaper than chisiri. I get it, but try to find your own balance. I understand you're paying your fanani, but try to find your own balance. So I hope this video was helpful to somebody, and yeah, you're not alone. Nyaya health yakakosha tisingamboite, and safunga kuti kana uri obese or wakakura on his body zombe. We are seeing these movements of these companies trying to normalize this kind of stuff. It's like, no, it's a effort yavarikutoisa ikutoda kuti vanhu vangu accepta that bull stuff wawana. So try your best kuti uzame kudya chikafu chiri healthy, and try to do your best. And I know society, social media and everything, they are pretty much trying to get you hooked and addicted to bad food, but try not to. And when I'm obese, don't be hard on them, because it's not easy to fight against such powerful corporations that are addicted to bad food. It's very, very hard. So be understanding to that and try to empower people. Right, so try to eat well, all of those healthy stuff, try to do them. So yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time.
Good day, guys. So my name is Simba, or you can call me Chef Simba, or the Cook Central like everyone else. So I'm a chef, a content creator, and a food educator. Food is really my passion. I'm really passionate about culture, food, and how we eat. I've been in the industry for the past 10 years now, or a little bit over, and I've worked for some of the largest hotels, both in Zimbabwe, the US, and Canada. I've worked for Mikos, I've worked for Holiday Inn, I've worked for JW Marriott in the US, so just to mention a few. So I have a bit of food knowledge, man, and I hope I can share some with you.